So if you're a prospective graduate student or international student and you've gotten admission without funding, then this video is for you, because in this video I'm going to share 11 strategies or steps that you can deploy or use in securing a fully funded scholarship or funding opportunities after you've gotten admission from your prospective schools and none of these admissions came with funding. So you want to subscribe to this channel if this is your first time here. You want to share this video as well to prospective students. Maybe you have a friend and the friend applied last year and is waiting for admission decisions from this school, and God being so good, some decisions are in as we speak, and most of these decisions came without funding. You want to stay tuned and watch this video and also send it to such students that have gotten admission and they didn't get funding, and because of that they think that their dreams have been shattered. This is the journey of hope, and I'm here to assist and help you gain some form of funding and some form of scholarship in order for you to pursue your degree. So the first step that I have for you today is for you to wait for a funding decision from the school. So you know, most of the schools that you apply to give admission decisions before they give funding decisions. So if you know that the school that you applied into gives some form of funding in a form of graduate assistantship, then you should know that they are going to give you funding in the coming days or in the coming weeks or months. At times it can take 1 month and you still not hear from them, but lo and behold, you're going to hear from them whether you've been given funding or not. So the first step is for you to relax, wait patiently for the schools that you applied into to bring their funding decision, so that you check or see whether you actually qualified for the funding or you did not qualify for the funding. So the second point is for you to check on the department website if you have to apply for the funding separately. You know, most schools, when you are applying to the schools, they will ask you to apply for the graduate assistantship differently from the application package that you are sending through graduate school to the specific department that you are applying to. So you have to check and be sure how these funding opportunities are in the kind of school that you are applying into. So check. Some of the schools, they're going to ask you during the application process or when you were filling the form, they're going to ask you, there's always a session where they're going to ask you, do you want to be considered for a graduate assistantship? You check yes. So if you check the yes, some schools automatically when you get admission is going to come with funding, but there are others that are not going to come with funding. It means that you might check yes, yet you have to still apply separately for an assistantship. And normally it's not a big deal. What they ask you for is your cover letter, your CV, at times your transcript. Most of the times they don't ask for your transcript, it's just your cover letter and your CV and some basic information about you and how your job roles or experiences can fit that particular graduate assistantship that they have available in a department. So you want to check if you have to apply separately or your decision is going to come together with the admission letter that you are going to receive, you know. So always check and know what the department is up to or what they want or what kind of decision they are going to give you, whether it's going to be an automatic funding, as in when you get admission, then you know automatically you are fully funded. You don't have to apply separately for graduate assistantship. Some schools, it's not like that. You get admission before you apply for the graduate assistantship, or during the application process, you apply separately through the graduate school to your specific department, then you apply separately for the assistantship. So if they make the decision, at times it comes together, at times it doesn't come together. The decisions come before the funding decisions also come. Like you get admission first before 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month later before they even bring their funding decision. So it depends on the school that you are applying into. Now the third point is to send a code email to the Director of Graduate Studies, the Programs Coordinator, or the Programs Advisor. It depends on the school and it depends on the kind of names that they are using. Every school has, like, you know, different names they give to these people, but basically you're going to see Program Advisor, Program Coordinator, and the director of graduate studies, you want to send them an email, shoot them an email and ask them that you've gotten admission without funding. What is the next step for you to go through, or if there is any external funding opportunities that they can suggest to you. And believe you me, like, they are the right people to suggest external funding or even departmental funding to you. So you want to reach out to your director of graduate studies, your programs coordinator, and your programs advisor and ask them that you just had an admission. Is there any alternate means or alternative, ways that you can use in securing a fully funded scholarship or an assistantship? And like I said, they will be in the best position to answer you. The fourth point, you want to ask your faculty member if there is any available funds. I know this is going to sound some way, but there have been instances where people got funding because of they working as lab assistant or research assistant for a particular professor or faculty member in a particular school. So that is also one of the great points that you can leverage on. If you've gotten admission, yet the admission decision came without funding, then you want to link up, send cold email in a very professional manner and reach out to these professors, especially if you are in a STEM programs. Some of these professors want to work with students in their lab, maybe a research assistant, and these opportunities comes with funding. This assistantship comes with funding. So you want to reach out to them if there are available slots or if they want someone to assist them in the lab, and they'll be in the best position to tell you if there is any available slot. They are going to tell you. If there is no available slot, I always say reach out to these people. They can always refer you to another person, even in a different department or in a different field, and you will be very glad that you did that. So you want to reach out to prospective faculty members whose research interest aligns with that of what you're going to do in the school, and ask them for available funding, or if they want lab assistant or research assistant or teaching assistant whatsoever. So you can also employ that tactics as well. The fifth point is going to be the financial aid office. So every school has the office of financial aid, and the name tells, right? They are in charge of every available funds in the school. So you want to use that opportunity to reach out to the financial aid office or the office of the financial aid, and ask them for available funding opportunities. Just shoot them an email. Normally, you're going to find their email on the department website or on the general school's website. Send them an email, tell them your name, where you're coming from, your research interest, and the fact that you've gotten admission, yet the admission didn't come with funding. So if there are any available slots or alternative ways of funding that they can suggest to you, and they will be in the best position to answer you because they know all the vacant roles or positions in the schools that are asking for people to work in those sections, or people to work in those labs, people to work in those sectors or fields. It will be very ideal for you to reach out to the financial aid office and ask them for available funding. The sixth point is that if you are a prospective student, you've gotten admission without funding, then what you have to do is that you have to reach out to the graduate school office or the international office. Every school is having an international office, an international body. Every school has a graduate school office. So you want to reach out to these two institutions or these two sectors that I've mentioned. You want to reach out to them and tell them that my name is this, my name is that, my research interest is in this program, I've gotten admission into your school, yet I didn't get funding. So can you suggest any available funding opportunities that I can apply into? And believe you me, they're going to be in the very good position to answer you. International office, basically they take care of like international students that are traveling, from their home country to US to study. So they'll be in the very best position to answer you. If they are not even going to give you such opportunity, they can suggest other places that you can apply to that you never would have thought of, right? So you want to reach out to them and ask them if they know of any vacant roles or funding opportunities that they can suggest to you. The seventh point is External funding opportunities. Most people apply to schools and they only target their department. No, you shouldn't do that. There are other departments that gives funding to students that do not necessarily have a background even in that field. You just have to show them that you are capable, you can do whatever job that is there, and you can be given that chance, right? And let me tell you this story. I'm currently in a room with this guy. Like, my roommate is from Cameroon and he went to pursue his bachelor's degree in China for 4.5 years, computer science, and he came to University of Colorado Boulder to pursue a Master of Arts degree in computer science. But one thing that you should know is that most students are not funded. Master students are not funded when it comes to computer science, so it's very difficult for them to get funded. Now listen to this great advice or this great story. He applied and he got admission into the program, a master's degree in computer science, yet his department couldn't give him funding because there were no available funding opportunities in his department. I think his department, they just give, 2 people in a row, like funding. You can imagine it's very competitive. So what he did was that because he's from Cameroon, he can speak and teach the French language. So when he was in China, or while he was in China, he reached out to the programs coordinator in the French department and told them that he could actually teach the French language. This is his background, this is where he comes from, he has years of experience in teaching, blah 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 blah. And as we speak, he is a teaching assistant in the French department. Meanwhile, his department, that is computer science department, couldn't even fund him. They couldn't give him a scholarship. So you should always leverage on external funding opportunities. Some of these schools have, a lot of vacancies in different fields that you can apply into. If you are someone who loves sports, you can check out for some funding opportunities from the sports department or from the sports field in the school that you are applying into. Just reach out, just send the code emails and you're going to be fine. So if you've gotten admission and it didn't come with funding and you think that your dream has been shattered, no, these are 11 steps. And if you follow these steps that I'm showing you, these steps that I'm giving out, you'll be able to get yourself some funds and get your visa approved and pursue your degree. So one thing that you always have to do is to take advantage of external funding opportunities, not just restricting yourself to the departmental funding, right? Because at times it's very competitive and they can give just 10 slots out of 55 or 75 applicants. They can just give 5 or 10 slots funding opportunities to these students. And if you don't fit or you don't qualify, it means that you're not going to get funding and you're not going to be able to come here. So then what do? You have to take advantage of other external funding opportunities. Now, let me tell you what you can do. Just type the name of your school. Maybe you are going to Northern Illinois University or you are going to ISU, Illinois State University. Just type ISU or NIU.academicworks on Google. Just put it in a Google search button and just search for it. You're going to get a lot of job opportunities from these schools and you can apply to them. Most of them, what they request for is your student ID. Now, mind you, because you got admission, your admission is going to come with a student ID. So you'll be able to use that student ID and include your CV and your cover letter and apply to tons of vacant roles that the school are going to advertise. Most of them advertise, job vacancies, career roles, academic works in the school that your department is not even advertising. So don't always, restrict yourself and you think that because you didn't get funding from your department, your dreams have been shattered. No, don't do that. You want to leverage on external funding opportunities. Some schools also use what is called the handshake. So the handshake, you just sign up onto the handshake platform with your student ID whatsoever. Then you go onto that website. That website is actually going to generate or going to show you all the available vacant job roles that they have. and they will tell you the number of people that they need, and you can apply. Some of them, they will tell you they just need 2 people. Some of them, they will tell you they need 4 people. They will tell you the requirement, the eligibilities, and you're going to fit or you're going to qualify for such eligibilities, and you just apply. Depending on the school you are going to, just type the initials of your school and just add .academic works, or you just add, ISU job roles or job vacancies. Just put it in Google, like Google search, and it's going to generate tons of job roles or vacancies that are available for you to be able to apply into them. I know of people who are studying in a particular program yet are working in different departments. That should tell you how feasible this whole process or these whole steps that I'm giving you is. The 8th point is that utilize LinkedIn. And what do I mean by utilize LinkedIn? You want to go to LinkedIn and put in the school that you are coming into. So if you are coming into Michigan State University, you want to put Michigan State University International Student. Search for that, put that in a search button on LinkedIn. And when you do that, you're going to get series of students, like a number of students from different parts of the world, African countries, that you can reach out to. Now, what people don't know is that most of these students are in these schools and they have access to certain information that you might not have or you might not know. At times, they might know or have access to certain information that is not necessarily on the department website. So you want to utilize LinkedIn, reach out to these international students and ask them for funding opportunities. During my time, I did that a lot. There were students in some of the schools that I applied into that I reached out to them. Even some of them went to the extent of reviewing my statement of purpose and my academic CV for me. And lo and behold, I was able to secure 5 fully funded scholarships because of some of these strategies. So these strategies are well carved, and thorough search went into these processes, and I want you to follow these steps. If this is your first time here, subscribe to this channel, and you want to send this video to your friend who has gotten admission and he didn't get funding, and because of that he thinks that his dream has been shattered. So you want to leverage on LinkedIn, create a LinkedIn account, be professional, and search for international students in Michigan State University, international student in CU Boulder, international student in Alabama State University. You're going to get all of them. Then start sending them emails, start following them. Some of them will answer, some of them might not answer, because we have different schedules and not everyone will be able to answer. But just do that, and you're going to get some people answering and responding to whatever questions that you have. 9th point is, some people get admission, they go to the embassy, they show proof of fund, like they got admission without funding, yet they were able to get like someone to sponsor them with a very good and liquid bank statement, and as a result of that, they went for their visa interview and they got their visas approved. Then when they came here, they now started searching for funding opportunities. You can also do that, but it depends. I will not advise you to apply to a school that is not going to give you funding, because it comes with a whole lot of stress. Even your visa is going to be approved or disapproved at times based on the available funds or the scholarship opportunities that you've gotten from these schools. So I always tell people it is better to get funding. If it is not a fully funded scholarship, at least you should get a partial funding. Then, go and support it with your bank statement or your sponsor, and you are good to go. You never know. You go and your visa will be approved. Yeah, so if you have the money and you have someone to sponsor your education and you think you are bold enough, you can go to the embassy, stand in front of the VO or the visa officer and explain to them who is going to fund for your studies. If you are able to get your visa approved and you come here, you can come and search for funding opportunities here. Very easy for you to get such opportunity or privilege. There's that at times it's also difficult because most of these schools have released or given out their funding opportunities for that particular cohort. So at times you might wait a bit longer before, if let's say someone defers the program or someone defers the course that the person is doing and there is maybe a slot, then they can consider you. So it's not always rosy like some of us see it. So I wouldn't advise you to do that. But if you are here and you are able to get your visa approved with a sponsor and you come into the US, you can always go around, ask your faculty, go to the director of graduate studies, tell them that you came with no funding, but you want to be considered for a funding opportunity, and they are going to put your name down and make sure that any funding they get in their department, they're going to let you know, and you'll be good. Now, my 10th point is to follow these schools on all of their social media platforms. Follow the school that you've applied into. Follow them on their LinkedIn platform, their Twitter space or S space. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on Instagram. Do you know why? Some of these schools are going to post job or graduate assistantship opportunities that you are not going to be aware of. So you only get to know some of these things if you are following them on all of their platforms. Let me tell you this. When I was applying to University of Maine, I never knew that my application fee was free until I saw it on their Instagram post. But it wasn't stated on their department website. No, it wasn't. I got to realize that I was not supposed to pay the application fee on their Instagram post. So that is why it is very ideal and it's very necessary, very relevant for you to follow the schools that you are applying to. Follow them on all of their social media platforms so that you not miss any relevant information that they post on their social media platforms that might not be on the department website. And the last advice that I have for you, if you're a graduate student, you've gotten admission without funding, what you can do is also to secure a loan. I wouldn't advise you to do that because it comes with its own, benefits and consequences. If you're going to take Empower loan or Discover loan, we have a lot of them. So depending on the loan that you are going for, the one that is very common is the Empower loan. If you are going to take Empower loan in order to come here and study, which is very possible, mind you, after you're done with your master's degree or your PhD program, you're going to pay that money and you're going to pay with a very huge interest. So I wouldn't advise you to do that. But if that is your last resort or your last chance, or you've tried other alternative means and you didn't get funding, then you can rely on the Empower loan. You can rely on loans, student loans, to come. And when you come, after you're done with your studies, when you start working, then you can start paying these companies and also add the interest as well. So I would advise you to do that, but if that is the only option that you have, why not? You can give it a shot. Yeah, so thank you very much for staying tuned. And like I said, if you've gotten admission without funding, these are the 11 steps that I have researched and I'm trying to pass it on so that you know that your dream is not shattered. You can still pursue your master's degree, you can still pursue your PhD program without you having to worry about a lot of things. Thank you very much and have a nice day.